a story about Patty. She was so good at dances, and she used to help me with some of the dance routines. So we played for Bob Hope at least a couple of times,
Wow.
and we always did Thanks for the Memory.
Yeah.
And and he never showed up for rehearsal. He just showed up for the gig. And so his brother used to be there, and I said, Patty, I said, do you know Thanks for the Memory and the Little Soft Sheet? She says, I'll come up with something. So brother comes out, and I said, I want you to check out the dance routine. And he said, it'll be no problem. So Bob Hope comes out, and he looks at the girls, and they start off, and he had every step that they had.
So he was right with them.
He was
No rehearsal.
No rehearsal, yeah. And
fantastic.
That was how good she was.
Wow.
Yeah. The staff I had all these years. I had great percussionists, and
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Great percussion staff.
And,
but you hired them.
You
hired good people.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you hired good people.
And Frank Krager was probably one of my last. He's down, the orchestra director down at the University of Houston, terrific musician from Michigan.
Wow.
I was born in Michigan, so Tim Otzenheiser came from Michigan, so no. And
you've had some guests. You've mentioned some before. Tell me about when Doc Severinsen came and played with the band.
Every time there was a show being on Saturday night, Ace Stotler would call me and he'd say, for publicity, could they come and perform with the band? I said, Doc Severinsen? I said, of course, give me the phone number, Wow. And so we were doing this big Spanish number. And so it was raining that Saturday, and Doc was late getting in, and we're going to the stadium. We hadn't rehearsed with him, and all of a sudden here comes a police car. So I put half the band in the baseball, on the baseball field in the dugouts, and we had a quick rehearsal.
Because it was pouring,
Because it was pouring. So we get to the stadium, and we can't go on the field. And I said, Doc, we can't get on the field. He said, well, I'm here to play. I said, well, we'll set up in the end zone. Now, timing was very important, and that was on me. If I'd have gone over time,
the coach would have had you.
Yes, he would. Dan Devine still is irritated because I would take all the piccolo players to the bowl game, and he'd have to leave some football players on. He never got over that.
Dan Devine didn't get football players because we needed piccolo players. I love that.
We had a bowl committee that did all this, and Sparky used to come into the game. And
who's Sparky?
Sparky Stallcup.
Okay,
he was the
athletic
probably
director?
the assistant, but he ran everything.
Okay, yeah.
And so he said, here's what the coach told me to say. And then he would laugh, and he said, now what are we going to do? And it was always, we can't take the whole band, but I never stepped foot outside of Thoreau unless we took the whole band. I wouldn't know how to do that.
Dr. Knox is so on that. She's like, it's either zero or the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's just too difficult to do it.
And so that was good. So
did you play? Did Doc play?
Oh, we get back to that. So it was like a 2-minute in the regular show. So we get up, we introduce him, band's right behind him, and we start the piece. And there was a cadenza in it. And so I cut the band off, and Doc starts to ad-lib. Ed Shaughnessy was on the drums.
Ed Shaughnessy, the whole band was there?
No, just Ed Shaughnessy.
Ed came, okay, to play drums.
And so I would, Shaughnessy, no. He played for 15 minutes.
His cadenza was 15 minutes.
Well, the whole thing took 15 minutes. If he had done that on the field, I'd have been gone.
You'd have been fired.
And it was so funny because every time I tried to cut him off,
he would not let you.
And he'd go on. So when he came in, I asked one of my trumpeters. I said, take him up to the press box because he was an immaculate practicer. He practiced all the time.
Yes.
And so I said, but let me know how he warms up and what he does. And so came back, ran through the whole Clark Technical Studies book. And another thing, I played with him in St. Louis. we had a 3-hour rehearsal. Well, the music never got there, but they had sold tickets to the rehearsal. So Doc, Shaughnessy, the piano player, played the whole thing. We had another 3-hour rehearsal. He played the 3-hour gig.
Did he crack once?
No.
Practice.
My idol, of course, and why I became a trumpet player, was Harry James.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He did a Flight of the Bumblebee that was just unbelievable, and it, again, terrific. Now, he had a vibrato, and you know, that was a style at the time.
Yes.
So when I told everybody, well, my idol was Harry James, they look at me, and you know, but he was a
great trumpet player.
In fact, I saw him in person late in life before he died in Jeff City. He brought the band, which was just a bunch of kids, and he fronted it.
Oh, wow.
And he didn't have the chops for the high notes anymore, but man, he could still, within the
my
staff,
goodness.
he was really good.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so.
Well, I think we've taken up enough of your time today. I'm so appreciative of your wanting to chat with us.
I got lots of more stories.
We can go. I'll come next year. We'll do a whole nother round of stories. We'll have to make sure and hit the ones that we did this year.
You know, older people, we reminisce about all this kind of stuff.
You know, it'll be great because the students that watch this are our current Mizzou students. There are a lot of your students, and they will love to hear some of these stories
Marching Mizzou
again.
Alumni, welcome. Come back often. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Come to homecoming
Absolutely.
in, let's see, in fall of 19, and you'll see Dr. Pickard on the field again, right with Dr. Knops leading Marching Mizzou.
Yes.